Welcome back, everyone, to Sip and Spill. This is our weekly show where we invite you all to sit down with us, grab a drink, and talk about all things life, love, and pop culture. And this is our very special New Year's episode. And we are your hosts. I'm Anna.
And I'm Nikki.
And in honor of the new year, we're starting off with something new. We've got some very special guests with us here today. So we've got Jamie and Jenna Joyce, our very good friends. Guys, why don't you introduce yourselves a little bit, talk about yourselves a little bit, give the listeners some background on who you are.
Okay, awesome. Do you want to go first?
You can go first.
I'll let you go first. All right, born first, but I'm going to go first. So actually, I have been best friends with Nicole for literally over 10 years. Went to high school together.
She knows me as Nicole, so that's how you know we go way back.
Yeah, people say Nikki, I'm like, it's Nicole. I don't know what you're talking about.
I rebranded.
It's not the same person.
I rebranded.
She rebranded, but we love her. So we literally grew up together, and she's always been my best friend. Went to school together. We both studied business communications, so we both are actually in sort of like marketing roles right now. And yeah, we've literally had a friendship forever. I've known Anna obviously through Nicole, so we're pretty close. Yeah.
So I'm Jamie. Obviously, I'm the oldest. Jenna and I are 15 months apart, so we're very close in age. And by being Jenna's sister, I met Nicole and Anna. I also call Nicole. I don't call her Nikki. One time someone was like, "Where's Nikki?" And I said, "I don't know who that is." And Jenna and I have basically done everything together our entire lives. We went to different high schools, but we went to the same college and studied the same thing and graduated at the same time. Super senior, but it's okay. And
I'll never forget the graduation video of you knocking out that Jamie took. Like, that was on brand for you.
No.
Mouth open, sleeping at Baruch College graduation.
Yeah, I can sleep anywhere. I'll sleep literally bus, subway, at a party,
Doesn't matter.
in a club. Doesn't matter. If I'm tired or if I feel comfortable, I'm gonna go to bed. And I did that during my graduation.
What a perfect day.
And I literally have pictures
All
of
the
me.
hard work.
Yeah, I worked really hard, so I had to sleep through it. So it was perfect.
yeah, when the eyes start rolling, that's how you know.
Like the eyes
sleeping's coming.
rolling.
Night.
Sober or not.
No, literally. That's so funny.
Well, thank you guys for that intro. We're really excited to have you as our first guests of the show ever.
Woo!
Love it.
Yeah.
And we brought you on today because, as we said, we're getting ready for the new year. We're getting ready for 2025. And with that, today we are going to be talking about astrology, manifestations, setting our goals for 2025. And we have a very special cocktail to start the year off fresh with. So, Nikki, tell us about today's drink.
This is our Cosmic Champagne. Really simple cocktail. All you need to do, and you can do it for New Year's Eve too, put some edible glitter in your champagne glass, pour that champagne on top, and look how beautiful.
Love it. I love it.
Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers, everyone.
Ladies. Cheers. Love you guys.
Happy
Yes.
pre-New Year.
Yes.
Happy and healthy.
Happy and
Happy
healthy.
New Year.
This
Nice and
episode
tasty.
will be airing on New Year's Eve. So if you guys are tuning in with us, happy New Year's Eve. Happy last day of 2024. Again, we've got a great episode to chat about what we're looking forward to in terms of, again, setting some goals for 2025. But, with that, let's start off with the astrology segment of the show. So, Jenna, you are very into astrology.
I love astrology.
How did you...
We go out and she's like, "How old are you and what's your sign?"
I literally say, what time were you born? What place? The full birth date? The date? The year? I need everything. I have to know about the person.
Yeah. So give us the basics of astrology, what you need to know if you've never done this before, or if you're a skeptic and you just don't even like talking about astrology, but maybe now you're deciding you want to learn all about it for the first
Jenna
time.
will call me up and she'll say, "The door is open. We have to write our manifestation."
No, literally. We have to get in tune with the universe. That's what I believe completely. So for me, I got into astrology probably almost a decade ago. I would say out of high school, I was I need to understand my purpose and what I'm supposed to be doing, because obviously you don't really know. You're just figuring out yourself. And the biggest thing for me was trying to understand myself more, so I kind of got into it that way. And I learned more about myself through my sun sign, for example, my moon sign, and my rising sign. So those are your big three in your chart.
What are those?
So your sun sign is who you are at your core. like who you know you are. Your moon sign's your personality, so people see that as well. So whether you're, you know, funny or you're aggressive or, you know, different types of characteristics, people can see that through your moon sign. And your rising is like how the world sees you. So there's also physical aspects to that too. So for example, I mean, you're gonna laugh at this, but I'm a Taurus rising, so people say that we have thick necks. So, to me, I'm like, I look at myself and I'm like, yeah, I could see it. Like, you have a strong neck. And they say you can have a strong...
You know what that means.
You know... but they say you have, like, a strong neck. So, like, I'm like, oh, okay. Like, that kind of, like I see it in the mirror. It makes sense to me. And they say you have a strong voice. So, for example...
You do?
They say that, like, Whitney Houston, she's also a Taurus rising. And she's an incredible singer.
Wow.
So, that just comes through also in her chart. And she's also a Leo, like me, just so everybody knows.
Yeah.
A zodiac sign. August 1st. Give me a birthday gift.
Yes.
And my moon sign's a Cancer, just to explain that. So, Cancer typically more empathetic and sensitive. So, I do have moments like that where I get into, like, my feelings, and then that comes out. I mean, you guys have seen me, obviously, in every aspect of life. So, you know when I'm sobbing, when I'm having a breakdown, and I know, I'm like, oh, it's my Cancer moon. You know, that's acting up right now. So that kind of explains it. And then there's also other planets that you have to look into, but I say like your big six you can look at. So for example, Venus, that planet, that's a planet of love. It understands like your relationships and how you interact with like a spouse or like a partner. Your Mars sign is kind of how you handle like difficult situations. So for example, I'm like a Libra Mars, so I'm kind of aggressive, which I don't know if people think that, maybe they do. I don't know.
I might be one too.
So that's part of it as well.
You are a, what's your Mars?
So what does this mean when the planets are...
It means where the planets were at your time of birth.
Okay. Okay.
And so, just for everyone's background, your sun sign is probably the one that people are going to know most of what they are. It's like your
birth date.
For example, right? It goes by your birth date. So these other signs, it's really getting more into depth of what time you were born or where you were born, right?
Right, that kind of makes like sense of what that is. So it explains like for your rising sign, you actually need your time of birth to determine that. Because that's a very exact placement.
Okay.
So you need to know that. But for example, like the moon sign, that could probably be the same throughout the whole day. But you really have to just put through, you know, your time, where you were born, the exact birth date, and then that should give you everything you need to know.
Cool. Very cool.
It's pretty interesting. So the one big thing I know we're going to talk about was Saturn returns. So we're not getting up in age, guys, but we're getting close to 28, for example, and 29. So the biggest thing about that is that's when your Saturn return happens. It happens every 28 years. So I don't know if you're going through that yet, Anna and Jamie, because you guys are obviously 28, but it's coming up on that. So when that happens, it's kind of a transitional time in your life where major things are going to happen. And different things will be like occurring at that time. You'll be changing, but you don't really know exactly what that means until you're going through it.
Yeah. I mean, I can get that. I feel like, at least for me, this is kind of a transitional time in terms of trying new things and, you know, setting new goals, but like more of those transformative goals, you know, like Nikki and I were talking about on last week's episode. We do feel like we really transformed a lot this year, and I think, you know, again, the running has a lot to do with that. And so I think, at least for me, I do feel like I'm going through this period where I'm trying to change my habits, adopt new habits, transitioning into like more of a wellness focused person that I wanted to be for a long time. Hopefully there's more good transitional things to happen before 29 hits. But at least on a personal note, I feel like that sounds like accurate right now.
So for example, I actually went to see an astrologer early this year. Actually, January, so almost a year ago.
Wait, so I never heard of that, seeing an astrologer.
So they get your birth chart. They know the different trends that are going to be happening this year and how it affects you based on where your planets are and where your planets are in your chart. So she had mentioned to me, based on my chart, my Saturn return was going to be happening when I was turning 29. So it's a year later than most people. And she said once that's done with, probably about like 2 years later, is when I'll be trying to settle down into like marriage and kids. Which makes sense. Like that's kind of my timeline in my head. I'm like, okay, married after 30, have kids around that time if I plan on that. Like I'm not rushing. So I kind of understand like, okay, that makes sense for my own personal beliefs and where I'm at, and also like what's happening through the universe, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Cool. Very cool. Are there any like specific dates that people should be mindful of for 2025?
Yes.
Based on the zodiac signs and astrology and all of that?
Yeah, so for example, I actually looked up through British Vogue. They have all the breakdowns of it to explain it. So the new year, for example, begins with Mars in retrograde until February 23rd. So it says here, it begins on December 6th, starting then, in the fire sign of Leo, and ends on the 23rd. So this year starts with us releasing repressed frustrations and former resentments. So when the action planet Mars dives back into Cancer on January 6th, we might feel stuck in situations with certain dynamics preventing us from moving forward. So we're probably just really just resolving conflicts in the beginning of the year, which is kind of a good thing though, but addressing different issues. So kind of being aware of how you're feeling at that time, and if you have anything personal going on that can relate to that, that kind of ties in with that astrology transit.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Now, Mars in retrograde, I feel like everyone knows Mercury in retrograde, and
Right.
that's the funny one, that everyone, like, when something isn't going right, everybody's like, oh, Mercury must be in retrograde.
Right.
So, like, are there others aside from Mercury in retrograde, Mars in retrograde, like, can other planets be in retrograde?
Yeah, so that
Throughout the
happens
year?
like all the time. So I mean to cut you off. So for example, it says March kicks off Venus's retrograde. So Venus is a sign of love, like I said, in relationships. So it says it commences on March 1st in Aries and clears cycle on April 12th in Pisces. So when Venus starts moving backwards in Aries, we'll want to reevaluate interpersonal relationships to see if there is an emotional, intellectual connection rather than a physical one. So people will just be reassessing their relationship that time. So if people go through different turbulent times, obviously, with like their significant other or whoever, they can feel it during that retrograde where they're sitting and thinking like, okay, like, is this my person?
Yeah.
Or is this who I'm supposed to be with? A lot of times you don't realize like that's not your person. And it's just a lesson until you actually have to go through that.
Interesting.
Yeah. And there's also going to be 3 Mercury retrogrades in 2025, it says.
Oh, no.
Buckle up.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it says from March 5th to April 7th is the first one. So it'll be occurring in the signs of Aries and then Pisces. And let me see if I can pull up any more. And
July 18th.
Yes, to August 8th, and then November 9th to November 29th.
Yikes.
Yeah, so just be prepared. I mean, it's more so like you just really reflect on yourself and like don't get too into situations where you'll act irrationally. That's my opinion on
Yeah.
retrogrades. You just have to kind of handle yourself and not think too much into it. Because people put too much emphasis and that's how it affects them negatively, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. When it rains, it pours. And so when it feels like everything is crumbling down around you, you think, fuck it, let's just keep going downhill from here.
No, exactly.
So that's a good tip, is to just kind of take a step back when you feel overwhelmed during those points of the year and think, maybe it's the planets doing their thing, being a little crazy, and it will pass like everything else passes.
For sure.
So that's a good mindset to keep going into the new year.
Just don't sign any contracts or buy a new computer.
Don't make any big decisions during these times.
Don't get married.
That's a big one.
Sorry if you have a wedding during those dates.
True. So true.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, again, we're talking about the new year and setting goals and whatnot for that year. How does astrology play into any of that, if it does at all,
I think it does to a degree, but to me, there's also like the intention that you set with it. So I feel like if you're gonna set goals and stuff, it's really on you to plan that. I know there's retrogrades, there's things that happen, but it's more so sticking to your goals and knowing what you want to do. So for example, like if you understand your chart and you're more likely to be like earth dominant, like I am myself, my astrologer said I'm more likely to be in a career that's more of serving others and helping others, which makes sense. I'm kind of like that. So I would say, for example, people might take a step back and be like, okay, I got to do something else with my life, change careers, do this and that. Those are good things to put, into goals. But you really have to do small goals to get to the big ones. So in my opinion, don't always look at astrology and say this is what I have to do with my life or set up my life that way. But you have to really just understand yourself and know how you need to plan based on it.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, totally. I think that's like anything. You have to know yourself better than anyone else to know what you want to do in life.
For sure.
And what you want to accomplish in life.
Yeah, and one way that you can use astrology to help manifest for the year is to identify your rising sign and kind of like channel that energy towards your goals. So when you are setting goals for the new year, like what's your rising?
I'm Taurus rising.
Taurus
Yeah.
rising. So like she said, she's very earth driven, earth focused, and like she did say before, like serving others is a big thing for earth signs. And I'm a Scorpio rising, and which is a very mysterious sign. I tend to not tell anyone my goals or my dreams. I keep it in a locked Pinterest board or like hidden away. But one way that you can use astrology to do that is to channel the energy of that sign's planet.
Okay.
And there's
Interesting.
all different ways to find it. Like you can go through CoStar or Pattern. There's so many free things online where you can get that information.
Yeah, for sure. And there's all types of astrology websites that can give you the breakdown, literally show you when the transits were, where you were born, all types of stuff like that.
Wow. Very cool. Well, if you guys are looking to know more about your star signs and whatnot, definitely check out one of the websites that Jenna and Jamie just mentioned. Do a little digging. Ask your mother if she remembers what time you were born, because mine certainly did not. And we're going off of guesstimates, but I would say it's still kind of accurate. I think we found out that I am definitely a Virgo sun.
Yes.
And then a Leo moon and a Leo rising.
She's a Pisces.
Pisces.
Pisces rising.
Okay. That makes sense. Especially the Leo part. I feel like I get along very well with Leos, so that connection is there. So yeah, I mean, find out what you are. It's fun to look into this stuff. At least I think it's fun to look into this stuff and learn more about, how this kind of translates to your own unique personalities and whatnot. But I want to go back to what Jamie was saying before about manifestation, because, again, another part of the new year is setting your intentions, thinking about what you want to accomplish. And sometimes you really need to put that down on paper, literally and figuratively, to see what can happen in the new year. So Jamie, you're very big on manifestations and vision boards. You just mentioned your Pinterest board for setting your goals and whatnot. Tell us more about that. How did you get into that? What are some of your go-to ways to start your vision board for a new year?
So when I was around 19, our aunt actually introduced us to this kind of spiritual guru, and her name is Gabby Bernstein. She's written tons of books on manifesting and how the universe has your back, basically just very spiritual based. And she introduced me to her. She actually knows her.
Oh.
She introduced us about 10 years ago, and she does incredible work. She basically, I picked up this book of hers at a really hard time in my life, and it basically taught me that, cut the negativity and start to have a positive outlook on things. I was in a job where I was making $7 an hour minimum wage. And she said, okay, just be grateful for that job for right now until you get a new job. Then I got offered a job as a nanny making $20 an hour. So it's a big jump from $7 to, $20,
Yeah.
$13 jump. So that's how I got into it. And over the years, to help my manifesting, I've added vision boards into it. And you can do this anyway, like on paper or Pinterest or Canva. And I like to journal all my goals for the year beforehand, and then I like to put it to paper. So if I say, okay, I want to make, $100,000 and buy myself a BMW this year, I write it down, but I write it with all the senses. So like how it's going to make you feel, how, you're going to see it, every single sense, touch, taste, smell, feel. And then put it down on paper or on the board to kind of like bring it to life. But then what I do is I let go and I try not to think about it, because if you're constantly focused on what you don't have, you're creating a space of lack in your life. So you're not inviting this stuff in. You're basically saying, I don't have it, I'll never have it, I don't want it, essentially. So I always try to put every single goal to paper first, then put pictures to it, and then let it go and let the universe kind of handle it from there.
Yeah, see, I feel like when I want something, I obsess over it and I think about it constantly. And I'm just like, well, I have everything else that I want, but there's just this one thing. And it's like, then you're forgetting all the other things that you are blessed and you are grateful to have in your life.
Yes, and
So that's a good idea.
It's so important to have that gratitude for what you do have, because like we said, otherwise you sit there and you obsess over things you don't have.
Right.
No, for sure. And I think the big thing, if you have a big goal or even a small goal, you have to think about the work you put in. I remember when I was younger and I was focused in on like my grades, for example, the biggest thing I did was focus on each exam by itself and then just put the work into that. And then you didn't think about like the outcomes. You said, oh, it's going to work out because I just did these small little things to get there.
Right.
So it's more like just kind of understanding, okay, like I need to make a small goal that builds to a bigger one. And then just letting it go. Because then you're like, I put in the work, I already know it's going to work out, so I don't have to think about it.
Yeah.
You know?
Definitely. For sure. And it can be overwhelming to think about what you need to do to get to those goals. But I think, like you said, setting out a plan to work towards a small goal and then building up over and over time is a good way to approach it and think about it, especially if you do obsess over things and like, you know, you worry about things, you worry about outcomes, you worry about other things going on in your life because,
Right.
let's face it, we've all got a million things going on in life, and sometimes that can sway you and deter you from working towards your goals, and so it's important to have that focus.
I think also, like, now that the new year is coming, I feel like it's hard or easy for us to be like, well, we didn't do anything this year, or we didn't accomplish anything this year. But like, even just the little small accomplishments are huge accomplishments. Like, I remember not this year, but the year before, I was like, damn, like, I don't think I did anything. So I think it's important to really look back and realize, like, even the little things that you did, like, you know, waking up and going to the gym, it doesn't have to be every day of the week. If you got yourself there once a week, that you accomplished something. So I think we have to give ourselves more credit.
Yeah, absolutely, because we do a lot throughout the year. We do a lot every day. We all work full time. We all, you know, are trying to make time for our social lives, our jobs, our loved ones, and it's difficult to manage all of that and still feel like we accomplished something. But that alone is an accomplishment. If you are able to do that and go to sleep at night, do it all again the next day, I feel like that's an accomplishment. I saw this thing on TikTok a while ago, and it was like, start the year off by getting a jar. Every day, write down on a piece of paper what you did that day. Like, no matter what, if it's small, if it's, you know, big, just something you did that day, fold it up, put it in the jar, and at the end of the year, you have all of these things to look back on that you did. Again, small or large, they're still accomplishments at the end of the day. So, you know, maybe that's something for people to try if they want to feel like they look back on this year and they, you know, did do something monumental, small, whatever it is.
Right. And a good day for people can vary as to like what it looks like. For me, like, a good day is like waking up, maybe going to the gym, walking the pup, cooking dinner.
Yeah.
That was a good day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it's all our first time living on this earth.
Yeah.
For sure.
If all you did this year was survive, that's enough.
Yep.
It's true.
100%.
I feel like with, today's like media and taking in social media, it's so easy to feel like you're falling behind.
Yeah, because comparison is the thief of joy.
Exactly.
That is one of my favorite sayings that I have learned in the last year, and it's very true. You can look at all of these people doing whatever it is they're doing, and you can think to yourself, oh, I wish I could do that. I wish I had done that. I wish my life was like this. At the end of the day, life is what you make it, to quote Hannah Montana, the great Hannah Montana. Life is what you make it. But it's true. It's very true.
It's as simple as that.
It is.
Yes.
It is.
Right.
You know, and again, you can obsess over these people on social media that look like they have the high life, but it could all be fake. You don't know.
Exactly.
You don't
That's
know
so
what people
true.
go through.
People are only going to show you what they want to show you. And you got to
Exactly.
realize that,
right.
too.
Right. So, I think it's very important for all of us to be proud of what we do on a day-to-day basis and feel grateful for all that we have, all the opportunities we have in this life.
And make room for more.
And make room
Facts.
for more. I love to make a vision board every year. I use my iPad a lot for work. I use it to take my notes at work and whatnot. So I always make my screensaver now my vision board for the year.
Love that.
And usually I'll put things on there like, where I want to travel to, or if I want to, really work hard for a promotion that year, or I don't know, do something health and wellness related. If I want to, get into a good gym routine or put myself on a good, I don't want to say diet, but create healthier habits food-wise, I'll put those on my screensaver vision board, and I'll have it every day, and it's a reminder to myself of what I want to do for the year. And I've done that the last couple of years, and I have to say it's a good reminder. It's nice to see some of those things come true. Not necessarily everything comes true, but that's okay. At the end of the day, if I even accomplish one thing on it, I'm happy with it.
Right.
And also remember that if it doesn't happen this year, it's not a no, it's a not yet.
Right. I was
It's
about to
not
say
meant
that.
to happen. It's not meant to happen this year. Like, Jenna knows that there were many years where I was jealous of people because they got to go on a work trip that I was dying to go on. And then the year I let go of that and was like, it is what it is, I was asked to go on that work trip. And then I went on that work trip like 5 more times after that. So, it happens when it's supposed to happen.
Right.
It's not a no, it's a not yet.
Right. And the universe is always trying to serve your best interest. So when things either fall apart or don't work out, it wasn't meant to work out. And you know that. And a lot of times, like they say, it doesn't happen right away. It happens at the universe's timing.
Right. I think as I'm growing and evolving and growing more confident, I feel like that's what I tell myself. Like, it didn't work out because it wasn't meant for me, and that is fine. Like, something better will come along. And as long as you trust that, time and time again, the universe or whatever you believe in will show you that what's meant for you will come to you.
Yeah.
Right.
In timing.
Yeah. And it never passes you. It always finds you when it's meant to.
Absolutely.
All right, so now we have a fun game that we're going to play, and it is our Vision Board Pictionary. So how this works is each person draws an image of a goal that they want to manifest in 2025 without writing words, and then we're going to guess your top 3 goals, each of our top 3 goals and intentions for 2025.
Love it.
All right, so we're back. We all drew out our Pictionary vision board cards, and I'll go first. So Jamie is going to guess what 3 of my manifestations and goals for 2025 are. So I'll go first.
Love. A relationship.
Yes.
Love it.
Okay.
Happiness.
Yes.
Straightforward.
A healthy year.
Yes. All right. So yeah, my first one, obviously, everybody wants a relationship. I think I am working and evolving and finding out my true self and what I want and what I don't want out of life and out of a person. So yes, that would be one of them. Happiness in whatever form that is. So whether it's more traveling or whatever brings me happiness for 2025, that's what I want. And then I drew an apple. Health for all of my family, all my friends, all the pups. Yeah.
Wow, that was really sweet.
Yeah.
I was like,
I don't think mine's that sweet. While I did my chart. Same.
That's okay. All right, Jamie,
I
show
don't
me
think mine's
yours.
just thoughtful.
Okay.
Traveling. I see an airplane.
Yes.
Is that a flag?
Yeah, 2 flags.
And then there's propellers or the flowers.
I'm not good with flags.
Sorry, that's a palm tree.
Okay.
Am I supposed to guess what the flags are?
No, you don't have to. I just did Italy and Greece.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'd love to do a girls' trip to Italy and Greece.
2025.
In the
Get
fun,
it.
ladies.
In the making.
In the making. Okay.
All right, my next goal.
Run. Sorry. I'm not going.
Oh, yes, Jenna. Okay. Yes. I see a girl crossing the finish line. I'm going to say for a marathon.
Half.
Half marathon.
Close, yeah. And I put 2:20 because I'd like to run a sub 2:20. I'm a slow runner, so
Yeah.
2:20 is my goal.
That'd be a
So
great time.
yeah, we're all running the half marathon in April. Really looking forward. Jenna is super prepared. She practices and trains every day. She wakes up at 5 in the morning and she gets out there.
And she keeps saying that we're running a marathon, even though we're only running a half marathon.
It's gonna feel like a marathon.
Yeah.
Wow. I hope there's pit stops on the way.
Oh, God.
Very excited.
There's a lot of water stations.
Okay, we're
They have
good.
them every mile.
I'm more nervous for Jenna than I am myself. I'll just say that.
I'm just gonna mentally tell myself I can do it and just keep doing it.
There we go.
Manifest
I
it.
just do things to do them. If anyone didn't know.
There, that's fine.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
And my last one, everyone's gonna laugh. Everyone's gonna be like, how?
Proposal.
Yes.
Is it a proposal?
Yeah, it's a proposal with a really fat emerald cut ring.
Nice.
Oh,
Love
okay.
Listen, don't laugh because there are plenty of people who start the year off
I'll
single
sip to that.
and they end it
Cheers to that.
engaged.
Proposal. Jenna, you need more.
Yeah, I got a little bit
Proposals
left.
in 2025. Let's cheers to that.
Cheers, my little one sip.
Cheers. Nikki, tell the listeners about the TikTok you sent me the other day of the girl and her eating grapes under the table.
Oh yes. So the girl was eating grapes under the table
On New Year's Eve.
on New Year. And what else happened?
And then she. So there's this old tradition. I don't want to say where it stems from because I'm not sure and I don't want to speak inaccurately about it. But there is a tradition that you are supposed to sit under a table on New Year's Eve, eat 12 grapes.
Yes.
And that will help you meet somebody and find love in the next year. So Nikki sent me a TikTok of this girl doing it, and then it cuts to her being engaged,
Yes.
like now, this time of year.
But then I also saw another one where it was all three friends went under the table, did it, and then it cut to all three girls finding love. in
Yeah,
that year,
so for those of you looking for love in 25, maybe consider sitting under a table this New Year's Eve and eating some grapes.
But Jenna
Love
doesn't
it.
eat grapes.
I mean, I could force myself. You never know.
You do what you gotta do for love.
Well, on Summer House, are we allowed to speak about?
Yeah.
Yes.
On Summer House, when Carl breaks up with Lindsay, Paige says to her, "You could be married with a baby this time next year." And that time next year, she was pregnant.
Wow.
Yeah.
She doesn't have like a ring on her finger yet, but I'm sure that she will soon.
She's got the baby.
There's
That's it.
no direct, and I think that's another thing that is, especially us from coming from Staten Island, we like very typical Staten Island is you go to school, you go to high school, what comes after high school, you go to college, what comes after college, you get married, you have a baby, and it's this very linear way of how we're supposed to do things, and it doesn't have to be linear. I think when you break away and you break out of that, you realize that we all don't have to follow that in that
Exactly.
order.
Right.
Yes.
No, for sure.
Everyone's on their own timeline, their own path. So whatever works for you, do it.
Great job, Jamie. We are going
you did good.
to Italy. We're going to Greece.
But in the
We're
universe.
running the house.
Yeah.
We're
Can't
running
believe
ahead.
it.
I'm getting engaged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, it's a
We're
big,
doing
big year
all
ahead of us.
things.
Yes, 2025, gonna be huge. All right, me and Jenna are gonna go next.
Here we
Jenna,
go.
I will share mine with you, and you take some guesses as to what I'm trying to manifest for 2025.
Ooh, more relaxation, a spa day.
Yes, in that realm. That's good. We've got this is supposed to be me in a face mask of some kind, just very
Ooh, that was
very
nice.
relaxed. Next one.
Money.
Yep,
Money.
Yep. I'll get more into it, but we've got a big money bag here.
We love that.
And then
Money bag, money bag, money bag.
Money big. Hey.
bags.
Okay.
I don't know if it looks like what it's supposed to look like.
Is that? Hold on. Okay, that could be a million different things. Hold on. Is that a plane? No.
I'll say it's very similar to Jamie's, one of Jamie's
Oh,
goals.
is it a proposal?
No. No.
Okay, hold on. Okay, travel.
Be nice, but no.
Travel.
Funny sneaker.
Is it a ring?
No, I put that too.
How are you getting? Thank you.
Oh, that's a sneaker. Oh my god.
You don't have that big of a foot.
Yo, I'm losing my mind. I saw a dog nose at one point, so I'm like, wait, hold on. Hold on.
No, it's a sneaker.
Okay.
And my Apple Watch.
Oh, okay.
And I got an 11-minute pace.
Okay.
So similar to Jamie, we are running the half marathon all together in April. Very excited about it.
Guys, I didn't put a goal for my pace.
Well,
I'm just gonna do it.
finishing is something that
For me,
yes.
finishing it, yeah.
Me as well.
Me as well. I want to finish, but I would really love to get a little bit faster. I would love to get my pace down to 11 is like my stretch goal, but I'll go for 11:30. So we'll see. We've got a few months to work towards that.
We love
These two are gonna find the hottest guys.
No,
to chase
literally.
on the round.
Literally.
That's
Oh
how they're
my
gonna
God.
finish
That's
the
so
run.
funny
That's
you
how you're
said
gonna
that.
finish the run.
I always have like a run buddy. So like when I'm running, I always like find somebody that's ahead of me and I'm like, okay, we got to keep up with them until I lose them and I find another one. I'm like, okay, we're going to keep up with them. And that's how I kind of get through the race.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it.
And I'm going to
run
be
buddy.
really gross right now. But I mean, we ran the 10K and like at one point I was just like trying to like entertain myself with like a game to get me through. And there was like little small mounds of geese shit and I was just aiming to step on the geese shit.
Nikki.
Like I was in fucking Mario like leveling up every time I stepped on the fucking
Oh my
geese
god,
shit.
that's funny.
That is funny as hell.
But it was getting brutal for
No,
me.
it was
and
tough.
I like needed to like fucking focus on something else. So I focused on what was in front of me, and that was geese shit.
It was tough. So if you need to do
Jamie's
something
horrified.
like that again for the half, I don't blame you.
Geese shit. Love it.
Oh my god, that is so funny. Well, my other goals, again, we've got the money bag, and it is, yes, money, but it's more of a sense of just expanding my personal wealth, my financial wellness, hoping my investments do good next year, hoping to invest even more next year, work. We always want to level up at work, keep getting those promotions, keep getting the raises, keep doing a good job, working toward that. It's always a big thing for me every year. So hopefully we keep doing well in that area. And then, yes, my spa day is more of a year-round goal for overall wellness. I tell myself every year I want to get into a good skincare routine. I don't currently have one.
Which is shocking.
Your skin looks great though.
Yeah.
Thank
She
you.
has incredible skin.
Thank you for
Like
that.
it literally looks like what's that? What's the word? Porcelain.
Porcelain. Yeah. There's no
Guys.
imperfections on her skin.
You guys are you're the best.
And she doesn't have any wrinkles either.
Well, they're starting to form. So I'm really trying my best to get as ahead of them as I can and keeping up with the moisturizing, the under eye creams, the mask, all of that stuff. I don't do a good job of that right now. So I'm really trying to get on a good routine for 2025. I just got one of those red light face masks.
Love that.
So we're gonna hopefully use that frequently. I wanna also dedicate at least one day a week to just a full wellness day. So sit at home, do my face masks, my moisturizers, full body moisturization, all of that good stuff. Relax, maybe just get one of those self massage things you put around your shoulders and just do all of those things to relax. I feel like as much as I would love to go to a spa every day, I can't, obviously. So just trying to create that at home would be lovely for me in the new year. Those were my goals. Jenna, let's get to yours.
Last but not least. All right, we're all gonna
Save the
laugh.
best for last.
Guess this.
Okay. I think we all just got a thought in our head that it is not what that is.
I'm not a good drawer.
It looks to me like a dumbbell. So, and not the male kind of dumbbell.
It looks to me like the other D word, but I'm not gonna say it.
No. No, but it is a dumbbell.
Okay.
So for me, I want to focus on working out more. I used to work out 3 to 4 times a week, and I fell off badly. So I really want to just start to make that my actual routine every few days and just do that. I want to try Pilates. It's a big thing I want to try. I see a lot of people have success doing Pilates and their bodies transform. So it's kind of my goal, and to kind of focus in on my physical health like that. I really haven't gone to the gym in a year, and it's bad, and I need to really...
Doesn't look it, girl. God bless.
No, I really need to focus in and make that a priority for myself. So that's the big thing for 2024.
Very good.
And I'll show you my next one.
2025.
Oh yeah! Oh my God! We're extending the year, guys.
Wait, no. Who still writes the year, like the
Yes,
first
I
few
do
months
that.
of
Yes.
the year? Always.
Yeah.
I still, to this day.
Are this not as sloppy?
I see another dollar sign.
Yes.
Money.
It looks like a rubber duck.
It does
with
look a little
some-
bit like a bird.
So for me, it's obviously like you mentioned, making money, but more so just like building my investments, building up my wealth. It's really more for like long-term planning. So for me, probably if I can get a promotion throughout the year, or if it's looking for like a new career, pivoting, just seeing what else is out there. So just exploring all that, and like you said, investments and building my wealth. That's kind of like the
Yeah.
focus for the year. So
That's
that'll
great.
be for 2025.
Love it. Love it.
You mean a
Everyone should
job
be
for me.
investing in something. If you're not
No, for
investing,
sure. You need to put your money in stuff.
put your money in something. Let it grow on its own.
Yeah, Jamie helps me with that. She's very smart, so she always gives me advice on what to do.
Jamie, maybe we'll have you back for a financial
should.
wellness episode.
I am very financially literate.
Wow,
So
I love that.
So if you
come
need
back
any
for an
advice, she's
episode
your
on
go-to
that.
girl.
I love that.
I did all her financial admin yesterday.
Wow.
Because I don't know
Her-
passwords. My accounts weren't looking for some reason. So
Yeah, she didn't know how to put money in her high yield savings.
because they didn't approve my account, like I had to verify it. I didn't verify it apparently, and then they were like, "Oh, like you have to like put this number in this," and I'm like, "No one told
Jamie,
me."
we're gonna have you back.
So
I
she's
have
the
some
go.
questions.
She's the go-to.
I did all her investments yesterday.
Yeah.
Nice.
Submitted everything. The market
Yeah.
went down today though, so sorry.
It's
Lost
all right.
a
We'll
couple
make it.
bucks.
We'll make it back. It's fine. Just gotta hold it long term.
Yep.
And then this is the last one. This is pretty easy though.
Looks to me like a beach, so I'm
Yes.
guessing a nice beach vacay.
Yeah, that's the goal, is to get away somewhere tropical and warm.
We going.
So that's a big thing for me. I love the beach. I love the warm weather. I love feeling like I'm just relaxed and in my element. And as a fire sign, being in the warm weather is literally my element. So just planning a trip, whether it's to even like Florida, Puerto Rico, Mexico, Colombia, Caribbean, Costa Rica. Doesn't matter. I'll go anywhere. I really don't care. So we're
Love
just
it.
trying to, figure out a girl's trip, and we'll probably do something like that. So
Nice.
That's
We'll
another
have
thing
fun.
that somebody told me. And they called it the carrot on the stick. So like when you are like luring in like a donkey, you have a carrot on the stick. So what is your carrot on the stick? My carrot on the stick is planning vacations. That's what gets me through. Also, my carrot on the stick now is planning these races, these
Yeah.
5Ks, these 10Ks, half marathons. That gets me through with staying on top of exercise and running and all of that stuff. So
Yep.
find out like what is that thing that keeps you going. We all have things that keep us going. So if you get them on the calendar, maybe it's a concert, maybe it's a wine night, maybe it's a girls' night in. Well, whatever it is that like gets you going. It could even be like your favorite show, or like watching a hockey game. Like when you get to work, like after work, what's gonna make it you get through the day, and that's your carrot on the stick. So think about that.
Love that.
awesome.
This was a great episode.
That was amazing. Thank you for
guys.
having us.
No, thank you guys for coming on and
was a
being
lot
our
of fun.
first guests.
We love it.
We can't wait to have you back at some point for our financial wellness episode. Jenna will get you on for more astrology episodes,
Yeah.
and we've got tons of stories from the both of you to tell.
Oh my God.
for sure.
It'll be for days. We'll be here.
days.
We'll be here for a series.
I actually think that we need to dedicate an entire episode to talking about the lore of these two.
Oh my God, yes.
It's just insane.
No, the rookies days.
Oh my, you can't make
yeah.
this shit up.
Me and
that
Jenna go
me and
back.
Nicole have been through, and we've gone through together. There's no words. I'm shook. As in Nicole's voice.
Yeah.
I'm shook.
Yeah.
Literally.
No, we will definitely have you guys back. This was lots of fun. We're very excited for 2025 with you guys. Lots of good times to come in the new year.
Yes. We are wishing our listeners an amazing 2025 year. Send in your goals, maybe some of your affirmations, manifestations for the new year. We would love to hear them.
Yes. If you have questions about maybe your star signs, your vision
We
boards,
will get in contact with the experts
Yes.
here for you.
Send it over.
Yes. Please share. Well, yes, thank you guys again for listening. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Give us some 5 stars, please. And make sure to follow us on all social medias. We are at the Sip and Spill Pod. That is at the Sip and like Nikki Spill Pod on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. follow us, find our content, find our updates about the show, and keep on listening. We are very excited again for 2025 and what that will bring for Sip and Spill. And we cannot wait to just continue making some delicious cocktails with you all and sharing more about us, about our stories, more of our friends. But yeah, I think we're gonna wrap it up here.
And if you make this cocktail on New Year's Eve, tag us. I want to
Yes.
see your beautiful, sparkling,
I have nothing left.
cosmic champagne.
Yes, please do.
Cheers to 2025, ladies.
Cheers. You gotta
Cheers to 2025. Jenna, fill it up.
You know I don't trust myself.
Cheers, Sean.
All right.
Oh my god, that would have went bad.
Cheers.
Cheers. Love you.